What is a cell? That is the main question here. But more specifically, what is a cell and what functions does it serve? What are organelles? Are they the organs of cells or something? What functions do they have and how do they affect the cell? So, let's get right into it. Back to the main question. What is a cell? Well, let's take a look-see at a cell in the first place. Basically, this is a cell. The general definition of a cell is it's the basic/smallest functional, biological, and structural unit of any or all living organisms, such as plants or animals. Cells can replicate independently and are usually called the building blocks of life. They are called cells because Robert Hooke, the first man to discover cells by analyzing a cork or cork tree object in 1665, thought they looked like the cells that monks inhabited, cells as in enclosed small rooms. Now, there are 3 types of cells: animal, bacteria, and plant cells. There are differences and similarities in animal and plant cells, such as plant cells having 2 completely separate organelles not found in animal cells called the cell wall and chloroplast, while animal cells have 3 different organelles called centrosomes, cell membranes, and lysosomes, not found in plant cells. Another key difference is that animal cells are only found in animals, while plant cells are only found in plants. The last key difference, at least that I could find, was animal cells require an external source of energy, like vitamins or proteins, to function. They are called heterotrophs. Plant cells, on the other hand, are autotrophs, which means they can generate their own source of energy using inorganic substances like heat or sunlight. Well, that's it for cell differences, but do you remember my second question about organelles? Yeah, I sort of have to define what organelles are and what specific jobs some of them have, so let's continue, shall we? Organelles, what are they? Are they useless little things just floating around the cell, or are they very productive and helpful organs to keep the cell well-oiled and running? I think you know the answer to that question. They are extremely helpful. They keep the cell working like a well-oiled machine and give it energies to store healthful materials for later use. Now, there are many organelles in the cell, but unfortunately we don't have enough time to get through all of them. Now, the first organelle I will be talking about is the cell wall. It helps protect the whole section from viruses and other external forces, like a shield would for a human. Next, we have the cell membrane, also called the cytomembrane, is a layer of glycolipids and phospholipids that control the materials and other cellular organisms that enter and exit the cell. This is called selective permeable. It also protects the cell from invading bacteria and viruses and monitors the homeostasis balance, which means the constant overwatch of the cell's environmental changes such as temperature increase or decrease and stability of the cell. Vacuoles are basically the storage system of the cell, meaning it can save important materials for later use. Such materials can be water, salts, proteins, or carbohydrates. Isn't that cool? Surely many of you are thinking, Helm, that's not cool at all. What are you doing? Well, I say fine to that. It pretty lit.
It's time to stop!
But wait, there's more. There are mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of cells. They transform chemical energy into molecules of energy the cell can use, like how we digest food or how a generator uses gasoline to make electricity. These molecules are called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate consists of adenosine molecules and 3 inorganic phosphates. The ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. Protein synthesis is one of the most fundamental biological processes in which individual cells build their specific proteins. Within the process are involved both DNA and RNA, while the lysosomes are tiny buggers, mainly found in animal cells that contain enzymes that digest lipids, carbohydrates, and proteins into small molecules that can be used by the rest of the cell. Oh yeah, I guess they can break down invading bacteria or viruses and or dead cell parts. Whatever. Next organelle, the chloroplast. The chloroplast is only found in plant cells, and for good reason. They turn light energy into energy the cell can use and glucose through photosynthesis. It also contains chlorophyll, a green pigment that traps light energy from the sun. Now, finally, we have the nucleus, the main control center that manages the cell's functions. The nuclear envelope is a bilayer membrane that surrounds and protects the nucleosis and genetic material. And finally, the nuclear pores are the openings in the envelope that control materials going in and out of the nucleus. So yeah, that's basically it. My goodness, that was long. Be sure to bug Miss LaRue for a good grade by the end of this conclusion. There are many differences in plant and animal cells, and there are loads more organelles to cover. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.